Hello, hello. I'm not sure if anybody's even going to show up tonight. It is a Saturday night. I had a video gig earlier today, but I felt like, hey, if anybody wants to show up, then we'll chat. We'll have a good hour-ish to chat. And if you don't want to show up, that's completely fine. I understand it's Saturday night and people are going to be enjoying their Saturday nights. Let me see if anybody gets on. If they don't, I'll probably cut around this. Just, do the. All right. How is the lag? Is anybody there? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody prepared? Does anybody want to talk? If not, this will be my fastest live that I've ever done. I'll cut things around it. And we will do with it what we can. Hey, we got somebody here. What's going on? What's going on? Let's get this chat flowing. Where is the chat? Okay, here we are. What's going on? Hey. So I was saying, for anybody who is here, let's see, let's bring this forward. Can you hear me? Get things off the screen. I did a update to this program, and well, it's not treating me nice. Here we go. Is my audio good? Can you hear me if you're watching? If you're watching and you're here, hit that like button, comment. Let's get this thing started. We'll let some people roll in. I'm usually a few minutes late, so I'm thinking maybe somebody thinks that I was going to be late again today, and I'm not. But it is a Saturday night. Not sure if anybody wants to join me or not, and that's okay if they don't. I understand. It is Saturday if it is. But for anybody who wants to join and talk, I am here to join and talk. Can y'all hear me? Is my audio good? So what I was kind of hoping to do today is talk a little bit about the new Canon EOS R7 specs, kind of get everybody's opinion on it. What do they think about it? I just made a video about that recently. And then after my video, I didn't necessarily think it was worth a full video on, but I figured it would be worth a discussion. They came out saying that there was going to actually possibly be how's your son doing? He is doing good. What's up, Long Rider? He is about to go to bed, but wait just 1 second. All right. He is here. Say hey. Can you wave? Can you wave at everybody? Uh-oh, he's distracted by the microphone. Say hey, Long Rider. He's about to go to sleep. It's about his time to sleep, but I figured he can come say hello for a second. Uh-oh. I think he can come say hello for a second. He's starting to press buttons. Hey, champ. Long Rider. Uh-oh. He's starting to kick the table with my laptop. He might hit the let's go button. So I was thinking that talking about the Canon EOS R7, there was some news that came out after I did my video, and it was saying essentially that there possibly is going to be some RFS lenses coming. So some lenses that are basically designed for the R7 in mind. And there was somebody, or Simon, the Ordinary Filmmaker, mentioned that it was going to be a whole new mount. That is not the understanding that I got from the rumor. And if I had to guess if they are going to make dedicated lenses, and maybe he didn't say that and I misunderstood him as well, but if they are going to make dedicated rumors for the R7 mount or the R7, I think it's going to be similar to Sony's situation where you're going to be able to use both on either camera. So the APS-C cameras will be able to use the RFS lenses on the full frame or in the APS-C and vice versa, because I don't think they're going to split that up. Again, doesn't make much sense. Bazaar? What do you think, Long Rider? What is your ideas? If you're here and you haven't yet, hit that like button and it'll get it out to more people. Okay, this guy's needing to go to sleep, so I'm going to go put him where he can play. So hit that like button if you can. If you appreciate a guy trying to take care of his son while trying to talk at the internet, you know, that's something, right? It's a skill. It's okay, buddy. Mom's right here. Woo! Sorry about that. Okay. If you're here and you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. My son's about to go to sleep, so I brought him on here for a second because Long Rider asked about him, which I appreciate. He is doing good, but he might be slightly screamy right now because it's his bedtime. Yeah, okay. So Long Rider is saying he agrees with me. I was talking about the R7. Yeah, I was talking about the R7 possibly getting some dedicated lenses, which is great because I know a lot of people are excited about that camera. But excuse me. That being said, I do not think they're going to split up the mount. I'm with Long Rider here. I think that essentially what they'll do is similar to what Sony does, where you'll have APS-C lenses and full frame lenses that both can use on either one. So my understanding of Simon's video was he was saying there was going to be a whole new mount. I do not agree with that. Maybe I misunderstood him, but yeah. If you're here and you're live and you're watching, hit that like button. We can get this out to more people. How is the latency going right now? Because YouTube can be a little funny sometimes. Hopefully it's not too disjointed. I'm going to check myself. Okay, so I see about a 15-second delay. Not too bad. The other thing I want to talk about while we're here, no delay. Okay, so Long Rider is saying practically no delay. So that is good. If you're here and you're in the chat and you want to chat, definitely put that out there. Or if you're here and you can hit that like button and get more people in the chat, worth it. I mean, Long Rider and me can have a conversation for hours, but I don't think he just wants to type for hours. I need to figure out how I can like send out a link and bring some people on as a guest, because I would love to get Long Rider in here and John in here, and we'll hash out this Canon and Sony battle for once and for all. The other thing I was going to talk about is this new Panasonic leak that is here. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate that. This will get it out to more people, hopefully, and we will be able to get a bigger conversation going. Okay, so let me see if I can share this screen here. All right. Okay. So right here we have on L rumors, and and he says, for what it's worth, I got this from an anonymous source. So there's really no guarantee here. I mean, with rumors, there's hardly ever a guarantee. I used to think that Canon rumors was pretty great about, you know, keeping their word to a certain degree. But as of lately, I think with the supply shortages and everything that's went on over there too, I almost want to change their name to Canon Alpha Rumors. It's bad. But here we have the Panasonic S5H. It says it's a lightweight camera, but likes the 15 megapixel version. But it's like okay, it's their typo, not my bad reading. But it's like the 15 megapixel version of the S1H. The S5H supports full frame 4.8K oversampled UHD 4K 120 frames per second with DFT autofocus, or AI autofocus. So that's terrible. So essentially, they're not getting away from the contrast detect autofocus, the depth from defocus autofocus. They keep thinking they can fix it. It doesn't seem like it's very fixable because just the sheer nature of the way it works seems to cause that pulsing and hunting. Even though, it's gotten a lot more reliable, you're still going to get that weird pulse. So most people just believe it is a broken system altogether. But it looks like Panasonic, at least in this new camera, isn't looking to get rid of it. It says it will also have 4.8K 16:9 or full frame open gate. So would that be DCI? 4.8K at 48 frames per second with dynamic range boost mode supported. So the way the way the dynamic boost mode worked in the Panasonic GH6, if I'm not mistaken, that was similar to some computational type photography, or it was actually more, I guess, akin to dual gain output, which is what Canon does with their cameras. So I'm thinking that if they had a micro four thirds camera that I think was getting somewhere between 11 to 12 true stops of dynamic range, if they have that in a full frame, I'm sorry, he's going to be going to sleep, and what can I do? Uh, but um, but I'm thinking if they could do that in a full frame camera with a fairly high light, you might be able to get buddy, it's okay. Uh, you might be able to get, I don't know, 15, 16 stops. Maybe it'll be better than the A7S III and all what Sony's doing. That'd be great. That would be a great feature. It would make it very cinema-like. So we will have to see. What do y'all think about the specs of this camera? Is it interesting to you? Let's bring the chat back. Okay, so Longrear says Panasonic is just thick, as we say in Brooklyn. Yeah, so not thick in the nice way, more thick in the head. I'm assuming is what you're meaning. I am sorry. There's nothing I can do. I think his his mom's getting over there, so he will hopefully get calmed down for a second. Right now, he doesn't like being alone. Sorry, it's maybe going to be the next 30 seconds. So stick with me. Sorry about that. People are jumping on here and they're like, crying baby, I'm getting off. They're like, this isn't a plane. I can escape. If you're here and you want to jump in the chats, please do. So far, it's just been me and Long Rider, which I appreciate. But I'm sure he would like to have other people as well. They make such nice cameras, except for that one issue. I completely agree, Long Rider. I looked back at the time the S1H was coming out. I mean, they were way ahead of the competition, and in some ways, they still are to a certain degree with that camera. And I remember like looking at all the different reviews, and I mean, I was in love with the idea of that camera. I loved everything that it had about it, and I never had a full frame camera before. I was stepping up from a APS-C camera that was fairly entry level. But I was saying, if I'm going to go full frame, I don't care. Not that I didn't care the cost, but I was willing to spend the cost. The thing that held me back from getting it is that terrible autofocus. And so to me, if they could have solved that one issue, they would have had a Panasonic user out of me 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe 4. Can't remember when I first got my full frame. If you're here and you're watching and you'd like to chat, that'd be great. If not, hit that like button and we'll get this out to more people. Appreciate it. I'm glad that some people are showing up on a Saturday night. I put out the community post basically letting you guys know that I probably wasn't going to be able to make a second video this week, so I at least wanted to do a live stream. And I had some people say, live stream on a Saturday night, I'm not in for it. And I completely understand that. But I did have a few that said, hey, I want to do this thing. So I thought if there's just a few that want to do it, let's make it happen. Either way. But I did have a video gig this morning. I had to record a dance showcase, or like a dance company. Essentially, it's like a recital, but a little bit more on the professional level. So I had to do that all this morning, and I had to set up for that because that's anytime you're filming a live event, you have issues. So yeah. We were talking. Is there any other news that stuck out to you guys besides the Canon R7 and this news right here? I think Sony. We didn't really go. I didn't really go into this lens here. This new G Master that's out. From all accounts, I believe it sounds pretty good. I just I don't know. I think there's a lot of competition at that 24 to 70 range with a good price. And I think it's, by all accounts, is the best 24 to 70 that there's is on the Sony E mount or FE mount. But um, to me, just the price is prohibitive. It's going to hold a lot of people back from getting that lens. I personally have the Sigma uh, 24 to 72.8, and I love it. I think it's 90% of whatever this lens is, and it is cheaper by like almost half. So personally, I don't see a reason to upgrade, and I'm actually going to be selling that lens in order to. I've already purchased the 35 to 150. So whenever it comes in, I'm going to be selling the 35 to 150 Tamron. So what do you guys think about? Are y'all Sony shooters? Does this lens impress you? Do you think they did enough? Like, I felt like with their um 70 to 200, I mean, it was absolutely, to me, it was way better. It was way lighter. Seemed like it was sharper in a lot of ways. So it really warranted that 2 designation. And I'm just not sure if I'm quite as impressed by the leap, but maybe they didn't have as far to go. But I don't know. What do y'all think about this Sony FE lens? Have anybody got this lens? Are y'all prepared to get this lens? Do you think it was worth them making a whole new lens? I don't know. Drop in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. So we got some people here, but they are being shy tonight. So I'm just kind of jibber jabbering for myself. I hope you're at least watching and enjoying enjoying the Saturday night, and you're listening, and maybe you're just listening and you don't want to talk, and that's okay too. But if you are here, and I keep saying this, but so we can get it out to more people, hit that like button if you haven't already. I have the 35 to 150 Tamron, so I'm good. Yeah. I don't have it yet, but I plan on getting that. And the reason I'm going to get it is because I'm also supposed to be getting the 16 to 35 f4. Not necessarily the ideal lens for, it's not the 2.8. Let's just say that, but it's ideal for what I need. And since I'm going to have a 16 to 35, then why not have a 35 to 150 and just, have that extra range and not necessarily have an overlapping focal length. And I got rid of the 70 to 200 f4 because I'm going to get that 35 to 150. So I'm going to be traveling. A lot of you guys know that, coming up here in Vietnam and in a couple months, almost 2 months to the day. So I hope I get the lens in time. I ordered it back on March 1st. 2 months, no word, except for it's still out of stock. Any other news that stuck out to you guys? NAB came and went. Overall, I didn't see anything that was very appealing to most mirrorless users. I'm thinking NAB is usually more for cinema photographer or cinema people than. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the computer screen, but y'all aren't. Y'all are just looking at the chat. I'm sorry about that. I should just wait for the R7 for my first camera. Or you're asking, should I just wait for the R7 for my first camera? I don't know. What do you want out of your camera, and how long are you willing to wait? Because right now they said August this year, so I mean that's not too far away. That is about 3 months. That being said, they had a rumor that had a higher designation saying it was going to be at least 6 months. So I'm not sure that Sony or Canon rumors knows. I'm not sure if Canon themselves know exactly when they plan on releasing this thing. So just prepare if you do decide to wait that you're waiting between 3 to 6 months and possibly further, but hopefully not. So you're okay. He said, Brian says, I see EOS RP and M50 are outdated. I agree. They are outdated. And it's going to be, hopefully the R7 is going to be a really good camera. What I do wonder about is how upper class are they going to make it? So what is the price going to be? Is it going to be 16 to 1800, or is it going to be 2000 to 23? I mean, I don't know. It just really depends on how good they make this camera. And if they do that, then are you married to the idea of an APS-C camera, or should you just go now and get your R6? There's just a lot of questions. And so I definitely wouldn't assume that it's going to be anywhere near the budget of the RP and M50. It might be between those cameras and the R6. So keep that in mind as well. Longer says R7 sounds like it's going to be a real nice camera and very capable. I agree. It does sound like that, especially for the people who are into that type of camera, that they want there may be a bird photographer or wildlife photographer, or maybe a sports photographer. They like smaller lenses and have a smaller kit. And I think that could be a really, really good lens or really good camera. Hopefully we'll have some good lenses for it, but I don't think they're going to divide them out. Long Rider. So what would it take you to get the R7? Do you think that you're even interested in it now that you have a pretty amazing Sony glass with the A9? Do you still see that as a valuable camera to carry around with you? Or do you feel like you just gave up on the idea of APS-C and you're all in on full frame at this point? I don't think there's a wrong answer. Kevin, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. He says, "Hey Matt, new sub here. Love your channel." Well, I always am. I'm always mind blown that people subscribe, not because I don't try to put out good content, because I really do, and I always hope that I give enough value. But then there's always a part of me that's just like, it's amazing that you guys want to keep coming back and watching more of, the information that I'm giving and my thoughts on it. So I really appreciate it, and it's people like you that give me hope to keep going on this channel and keep building it. So thank you so much. Long Rise says, I would like a crop body with a stack sensor for fast readouts and 20 FPS. So right now it's saying backside illuminated. In the past, I think they said possibly a stack sensor. So if they do add a stack sensor, would you be willing to go for the R7, or do you think, because I don't see Sony doing anything with that right now. I just don't. I hope I'm wrong for people like yourself. Brian says, if the R7 passes 1500, better get an A7C, I guess. it really just like I said, it depends on what you want out of your camera. I think the R7 and the A7C are definitely going to have some overlap. That being said, it really just depends on what you want. If you're really just looking for the compact nature, you want it for some street photography, and you're not really doing it for too much professional work. I'm not saying you can't get professional work out of an A7C, but like for example, today I did a live event, and the live event you pretty much get a one-shot situation, so I had to have a dual card backup, so that's very important for me. And according to the latest rumors, the R7 will have a dual card backup. So if that's going to be important to you, then maybe. Um, I'd really think that there's going to be some overlap between the R7 and A7C. And if the overlap matches what you want out of a camera and your needs, then that's great. And maybe you should just go for the A7C. I do believe that Sony still has a better lens lineup, especially with their third party. Not to say they have a better quality necessarily, but definitely they're a good resource. They have high quality glass that is expensive or is pretty inexpensive as well. Definitely a lot more variety. So there's that. But if the R7 is also going to have capabilities that the A7C does not have, and at least in my opinion, it's going to be a crop sensor. It's probably going to be tremendously faster. 20 frames per second is what they're saying, and I don't doubt that it's going to be at least 20 frames per second, or probably will be 20 frames per second. So it's going to be way faster than the A7C. You'll probably have better autofocus at this point. A lot of people love Canon colors, so there's that going forward as well. Kevin says the R7 would be interesting for wildlife. That crop for the RF 100 to 500, putting the lens at 800 with new converter. I'm a little disappointed Canon hasn't developed a lens like the Sony 200 to 600. Yeah. I don't live in that realm. I know a lot of people who do. Long Rider is an excellent wildlife photographer, and a lot of people love that. And so maybe I should put more interest in it myself. But I'm fairly video at this point, and not that I'm not gonna like I have a real estate photography gig coming up over the next week. So it's not like I don't do photography anymore, but I just haven't taken the time to do it as much lately. But maybe when I'm in Vietnam, I will be doing more stuff that gives a little bit better thumbnails and all that. So I'm just not going to pretend that the 200 to 600 that I know. I mean, I know the difference, obviously the extra reach, but to say that I think Canon needs that, I'm not sure. Kevin says, do you see Sigma jumping on RF? According to Sigma, they say they're working on it. I think that was implied by one of their high, I don't know if it was a CEO. He wasn't high, but he was a high level CEO. So apparently they said that we're going to address it in 2022. But I mean, this world is a little bit whack right now with supply chain issues, and it's hard to say with any certainty. So I do suspect that they will be doing that, but how soon, I'm not sure. And it does hold them back a little bit, considering not just the supply, but Canon not opening up their mount and giving the proper technology or the proper software information to their third party. I think that it's a whole another level of R&D that they have to put into their lenses. I think it's unnecessary. I think I don't know if Canon should open up their mount as far as their bottom dollar goes, because they make a lot of money off the lenses. But as a consumer and a customer, I really wish that they would. Okay. Longrider says, Matt, did you see the rumor about a Sony 150 to 400 f4? Wow. No, I did not hear that rumor. Is that on Sony Alpha Rumors, or did you hear that somewhere else? That's pretty awesome, right? That would be pretty impressive lens, I would gather. Usually, if you're having that focal length, you're getting some form of variable um, focal length or variable f-stop. So having a 150 to 400, if they price it right, if the price is right, it should be fairly impressive. And I think that would be a very interesting camera. It honestly would be a camera that would be a great focal length to add on top of what I'm getting here with the 35 to 150. But I'm not sure. I feel like if I had a higher end camera, not higher end than the A7S III, but higher end for photography, that would really appeal to me more, even more so than it does right now. Because with the A7S III with Sony, I feel fairly beholden to mostly video. Not that I can't get a fast, a decent shot out of it, but if I'm doing wildlife and things of that nature, I feel like, I mean, cropping is a beneficial thing. So I don't know. I just feel like I feel like if I had, say, a R5 type camera coming out of Sony, that's maybe an 8K somewhere around like the 3800 mark, or even if they did like 4200, uh, then I would be jumping to that camera. And if I did that, then I would definitely be more interested in long range lenses. Brian says, I agree, but A7C is out of stock here in US, and the user interface looks hard for beginners like me. Appreciate Canon for better user interface. I'm not saying you're wrong, Brian. I personally love the camera interface of Canon. I love the screens of Canon. That's huge. And to my knowledge, the A7C, I don't think it has the new menu systems, so that is an issue. Um, but I will say that I will say that if you get a camera and you enjoy shooting with it, I mean, if you've never really had another camera to compare it to, then you're going to learn your camera, especially if you shoot with it. So you can become accustomed to Sony just as much as you can be accustomed to Canon, and maybe it will take you longer and to get accustomed to the Sony. But that being said, doesn't mean you won't be accustomed to it. And honestly, Sony's a camera that is interesting to me because on a surface level, I think that Canon is great with making everything easy to use. But something about having a Sony in my hands, it feels very professional. And I know it's more complicated. And I'm not saying you can just going to get better images out of it. That's not the point. But having all the different picture profiles that are professional picture profiles, and just having all the customization that you have, it makes me feel like I'm holding a tool in my hands. And so that there's a benefit there too, but it really just depends on what you want out of your camera. Sigma's Long Rider said Sigma would be great for the RF mount. Absolutely, absolutely great. He said, yes, sir. I'm not sure. Sony Alpha Rumors. Yes, Sony Alpha Rumors. I was like, SAR with a sir? Anyways. Yeah, okay. So I need to go check that out. Maybe I can bring that up here in a second. Brian said, about EOS RP, any other update about its successor? And then Long Rider says, Canon has a 200 to 400, not cheap. Okay. So it sounds like a 150 to 400 f4 would not be cheap as well. So there's that. So that's definitely a thing. So Brian, the latest that we've heard about pretty much any Canon camera, and it doesn't mean this is not fact, or this isn't set in stone. This isn't necessarily something that came out of Canon. But one thing that has been speculated by Craig from Canon Rumors, or he was the founder of Canon Rumors, is that any camera that will be a high yield camera, meaning that they have to produce a lot of them, those are going to be delayed. I'm not going to say indefinitely, but I don't think that they 100% know. I definitely think it has been Canon's intent to bring out an EOS RP, but from my understanding is if they can't keep the supply up enough to bring out that camera, why not? I mean, if it's hard for them to keep the supply of an R3 out or a higher end camera like the R6 and R5, I mean, they're higher, but higher than RP would be. If all their parts are going there and that camera is a higher producer of revenue for them, why not put your time and effort into those cameras right now? And kind of the other side of it too is not wanting to upset your user base too much, because if you have an RP that comes out and people are excited about it initially and they want to sell a lot of them because they're, a lot of people, there's a high demand for it and it's a lower entry level camera, and they don't have the supply, and maybe it's a 6-month out thing. So maybe they have, I don't know, I'm just going to throw out a number. Maybe they have 3,000 units ready to go, and maybe they can make 5,000 units over the next 3 months. That's not going to meet the demand of a camera like that. And so, and so that being said, they're going to piss a lot of people off, annoy a lot of people with not being able to release that. The other risk that you run is if your camera is 6 months out to be deliverable, or even further out, you kind of show your hand with what you have available in your camera to your competition. So let's say Canon next month announces an RP Mark II or whatever they're going to call it, probably in R9 or R10 or something, I don't know. But let's say they release this camera and they still can't deliver it for about, maybe 6 to 12 months. And in 6 to 12 months, the supply chain issue hopefully will be further resolved. And so things won't be out as far. Well, then maybe Nikon, knowing what Canon offers, knowing that supply chains are still going to be a restraint, maybe in 9 months, they come out with a camera that is slightly better than the RP for a similar price range, just with the way technology works. And maybe Sony does a similar thing as well. And so you kind of show your hand, you announce something that can't sell, which annoys your customers, and you also come out with something that may become partially obsolete or not match up to your competitors in a year for when you'll actually be able to get it out in the hands. So that's kind of been the reasoning behind possibly an RP not coming for a good while. I hope that answers your question. I hope thoroughly answers your question. But keep bringing them. Long Road said, Canon has a 200 to 400 not cheap. Canon hasn't been doing anything cheap. And that's not a knock on Canon exactly, because, they offer a high quality product. But with what Nikon is offering right now, they're fighting. I'll say that. And I hope success for obviously Nikon and Canon. Because if there's a better end Nikon cameras and there's some real competition and Nikon starts being able to offer more mid-tier cameras with good lens deals, that's something too to take into consideration. Some people would have looked at some people who, let's say, are looking at a camera like the R5 and they're wanting to jump into Canon right now with an R5, and they see, maybe they're wildlife photographers, or in general, they're just photographers. They see an R5 that is priced really well at $3,900, $3,899 US at least. And they think, oh, this is a great camera. But then on the other side, they see a Nikon Z9, which is slightly different, but they definitely have some crossover appeal. And it is a high-end flagship camera with some pretty incredible specs, if you don't mind the size. And they're offering their lenses, or at least have been on their new lenses, they're offering it quite a bit cheaper than Canon. So right now, I think that is Nikon's strategy. Even if they can't get mid-tier cameras out, if they can make their lenses cheap enough at this point, then some people will say, okay, well, I could get an R5, but my lens is going to cost me an extra $1,200 more than what the Nikon equivalent's going to cost. So I would rather get the Z9 for $5,500 and maybe pay a few $100s more, because it's not going to be $1,500 more, because my lens is going to be much cheaper. So I think that is the strategy right now until they can get the supply chain issue resolved. So I think that is Nikon's strategy. I think it's a smart strategy. But drop in the comments below, and if you have any other ideas and you think maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's a smart strategy with the way the supply chain is. Cheapen your lenses, or make your lenses more value friendly. Make your Z9 fairly value friendly, so people will choose maybe that over the R5 or the Sony A7 R4. I think that's a good idea. Smart, very smart, in my mind. Especially when you consider an R3 is $6,000, and the A7 or A1 is $6,500. Battery grip, you add it $300 more, and yeah. So I don't know. Good idea, I think. So drop in the comment section below if you agree, or if you want to continue that conversation. I do think that is a good option for people. Let me jump over here to screen share while people hopefully will send in some more chats so we can talk. So let me see. The rumor that you said was about the new Sony lens. Let's see if I can find that here. Their search engine's kind of weird sometimes. 200 or 150 to 400. So these are in their wild rumors. I'm guessing. Let's see. So in the wild rumors, they say right here, right there. Okay, interesting. I don't know how reliable this really is, considering this is kind of in a wild rumor situation. Here, I'm going to repost it and add some comments about what's likely and not. Sony Alpha Rumors comment, I can confirm it's coming late 2022. 8K I cannot confirm, but it's highly likely, I think. Okay. And then that's A7R5. So that's what he believes. I think it will be released in 2023 only due to the persistent chip shortage. He's wrong. No, it may be released in 2023, but it will be prototype at the World Cup. Otherwise, there's no point in releasing a high-end wildlife and sports photography camera with no major event around it. So the World Cup, which is also, I think, every 4 years, is going to be at the end of this year, I believe in November. With that being said, that's where we're going to get a prototype of that camera in my mind. And I think that's where you're going to get a prototype of the R1 as well, the Canon R1. So that's my guess. If you agree, let me know. Others. An unknown model will appear in 2022. It's not a successor model to the existing camera, to a existing camera, I'm assuming. It will appear in 2022, third quarter, maybe, to 2023. I'm confused the way he's saying this. I'm wondering with this unknown model, maybe check me if this is my theory about the unknown model. I think it will be an R5 competitor. So we might have a new 8K camera. Maybe it will be an A9. Let's call it an A9S. I don't know. Maybe that's a weird marketing. But I think it will be somewhere around like the 39 to 4500 range, and it will probably be an 8K camera similar to an R5 competitor. I think that that's what's going to go on, because I think Sony sees some other writing on the wall here with 8K, and I think that the R5, even though there, definitely some benefits to the A7S3 and some of their other cameras, overall, I don't think that they really have an answer for the R5. Kind of a high mid-tier camera that is a do-it-all. I think the R5 is pretty excellent. Okay. But that's what I think the camera is going to be. Could be wrong. Maybe it's another APS-C camera, because that's another thought. But I really don't feel that Sony is very interested in the APS-C lineup. So I could be wrong. Or maybe it's a very budget-friendly. Give me your thoughts down below. Okay, the 24-70G M2 is coming in April, on April 27th. That's true, that happened. The 85 1.2 may be announced before summer. The new Sigma lenses are going to be announced within the next couple of weeks. So even with this camera, this lens, they did not give much information about it. So maybe it's coming soon, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not real. I would think it's probably real, but I don't know. That's this interesting. I'm thinking this is one of the Tamarons, the 16-28 2.8. I'm kind of interested in that. My 17-28, I like it, but it's I don't know, it's kind of missing a little bit. But I'm going right now with the 16-35, but I could change my mind. But yeah. Okay, so maybe we get some more comments. Let's see. Maybe I just talked everybody out of watching. Or not. No more comments so far. What do you guys think about my theory, let's call it, or a hypothesis is probably a better word for it. I want to stop using theory colloquially, because people get confused between a scientific theory and a just a commonly thought of theory. Anyways, I'm just not going to go on to that. What do you guys think about my hypothesis about maybe them coming out with an R5 type competitor? Or do you already think that they already have something that competes with it? I don't see that right now. I can see an 8K 60 camera, focus a little bit more on video, and maybe they'll bump up the A1 with the firmware. Maybe not. I don't know. But I would like to think that they're coming out with a R5 competitor. I don't know what you'd call it. The Sony A3? I don't know. Or would you do like a Sony A8 maybe? That would be great. Brian said, great theory. Forgot to mention it. This is a great channel for camera discussion. Well, I really appreciate that, and I hope to be a great channel for camera discussion. Because I want to be transparent with everybody and look at my strengths and weaknesses. I'm still learning my craft. I think I can always be better at lighting and audio quality, and just being out in the field in general. I think that a lot of my audience is well above my, let's just say, skill level, because of maybe time or maybe just putting in more effort. So that being said, I try to show off where I can. I felt my video about the 5 likely cameras coming out in 2022 still. I felt like there was some decent storytelling there. It seemed to do well. That being said, I don't want to pretend that I can teach everybody everything, especially with the audience that I have here. It seems like you guys are ahead of me on a lot of stuff. So I can bring the news and talk about my theories there, and leave the teaching of camera stuff to people who are better at teaching, or at least are more qualified than me as of right now. Okay. Brian says about Sony APS-C, it seems they're not going to abandon their line because it has great series of lenses already. Debatable. It's better than a lot of people, but I think that they could use some updates to there as well. Uh, Especially if you consider some of the new specs. I really do not know how fast those lenses are in comparison to what the new specs are. I could be wrong. So maybe they won't abandon it. Maybe I'm unaware of how good their APS-C lenses are, but from my understanding, they're fairly dated, or at least most of them are. But I could be wrong. Long Rider would probably know more than me. So many options comparing with Canon and Fujifilm. Yeah, I know. I've said this multiple times. I love Fujifilm cameras. I am a big fan of Fujifilm, and I think that's another company that, at least when it comes to some of the speed and the effectiveness of video, they have very high quality video cameras, but their lenses are lacking slightly in the APS-C range. I think they have some great medium format lenses, but I think they need to update a few things if they're going to really meet their potential. But overall, they are the people who seem like they're dedicated to an APS-C lineup, and I think that's impressive enough. If they can fix their autofocus, their what is it? IBIS. If they can fix their IBIS and their autofocus, which to me they should have pretty good IBIS because of the APS-C nature, I think that they could pull off a better IBIS than most full frame lenses or cameras. If they can do that and also add just a few more video centric lenses, then I think that they have a winning formula, and they're very dangerous in the APS-C market. I honestly think that if Canon didn't have the Canon name, Fujifilm would have already ran away with the APS-C market. Just my opinion. I mean, because if we think about it, if we go back, pretty much everything besides the speed of the photos, which is important, of course, but I mean, pure specs to have 10-bit 422 at 4K 60 in I think it was 2019 or 18 with the XT3. I mean, they were years ahead of full frame with it. And then the XT4 came out a year later, still ahead of everybody else, and they fixed a lot of what the XT3 did. So if this new what are the XH2 comes out, or the two different versions, and they knock it out of the park, I mean, to me, I think Fujifilm is the best bet for APS-C. I could be wrong. Personal opinion. I actually had somebody who said they were an insider, and that there is going to be one of the cameras is going to be called, at least one of them is going to be called the XH5 and not the XH2. So that is interesting to me. I'm not sure exactly why they would do that, but maybe I was thinking that maybe that is going to be their instead of having an XH2S and an XH2, which I thought was a little bit weird marketing. Maybe the XH2 will be the 26 megapixel version, which will be a higher flagship or higher end camera than what the XT4 is. But then you have the 8K version maybe coming in a little bit higher, more expensive than that. And that will be their 8K camera. Maybe he is mistaken, but he says he's an insider. So I thought that was interesting, and I appreciated the information. We'll know if it turns out to be true that we really do have an insider on our hands, and that will be a good source. I think that's great. And if any of you are insiders to any of this or privy to more information that Canon rumors, Sony Alpha rumors, Fuji rumors, any of the news sites, if you're privy, I mean, I'm always, of course, would be grateful to hear from you guys, because if it turns out you guys are insiders and you're willing to share information, that would definitely help out my channel if I could come out with information before the trades or the websites could, because that would definitely give me a competitive edge, and hopefully we can grow this channel together. That'd be great. So we still got a decent amount of people watching here. I appreciate it. I was honestly not sure how Saturday night was going to work out. Last week I did it Thursday night. I'm willing but never allowed. Are you talking about being an insider, Jason? Don, what's up, man? Don, is that? Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. Finally get to see your live. Awesome, man. I'm glad you're able to be here. I will keep going essentially as long as you guys want. I am here for you. But we are coming up on an hour. So, hey, here we are. It's all good. Never allowed to tell what I know. Haha. NDAs. You are right about that. I understand your the dilemma. Maybe you could like a little bird. Maybe you could send like a carrier pigeon and just don't put your name on it. I think it can make it from Australia to Tennessee and United States. I think they can make it happen. Send it via carrier pigeon, or if you can do like an owl, like in Harry Potter, maybe they do some magic, and it'll get here the information. And we don't have to say it's from you; it's from a carrier pigeon, and it's just somehow it landed on my doorstep. Just kidding. You don't have to do that. Don't get in trouble. Okay, so Jason, I will say this, and blink twice if I'm onto something, or maybe you have no clue about the information that I'm about to present, or maybe you heard me earlier. Either way, so this unknown camera that is supposedly coming from Sony, can you say whether or not it's supposedly not going to be related to another line? Are you even allowed with an NDA to say you know about it or you don't know about it? Are you allowed to just say yes or no, even if you don't give more information? It's okay either way if you can't. I don't want to put you in a bad position. Jason, if you haven't already, go check out his channel. He's great at what he does. He's also one of the reasons why I'm not going to pretend to teach everybody about things like that, because this guy, he has more experiences than me, more experience than me personally. I just think he's better equipped to teach more about cameras. That's why I'm talking about the news, and I'm learning my craft. And maybe one day, eventually, I will be at a higher level of quality like Jason, and I will be able to teach some wisdom along the way. But okay, Jason says I actually haven't heard camera news at the moment. Okay. So my theory with that, Jason, if there is really an unknown camera, which Sony Alpha Rumors says it is, and it's not a follow-up to any of the existing lines, I think we have two fairly decent possibilities. One being, of course, that it could be a lower-end camera to kind of compete with the RP, somewhere around there. Not sure. My hope, my thought process, what I would like to see is a competitor to the a Canon R5, an 8K camera that is in the mid to high range line. I think that would be a great camera. If you could price it between 39 and 4,500. I don't know if you would call it an A9S, give it a completely different designation. I'm not sure. But I think that could be an interesting camera, because I don't think they really have an answer to the R5. That's my theory. Jason, do you have not necessarily more information, but do you think that would be sound like something? Jason said, I would say something around sports, like you said, makes sense with the soccer World Cup coming up. Yeah, so that supposedly is the A9 Mark III. At least I don't know about the. I don't know. I don't know that for sure it's going to be around the World Cup. I do believe so. But apparently there is an A9 Mark III, and if there is, and that's really coming out, I think that's going to be there in prototype form. But this unknown camera that's supposedly not a follow-up to any other one, I think could be an R5 competitor. That's my thought process. If you're here, chat, ask me questions, ask the chat questions. They might know more than me in a particular situation. Speculate, throw theories out there, throw ideas out there. Love to hear from you if you're there and you want to chat. If you don't want to chat, that's cool too. But if you're here and you haven't hit that like button, try to throw this out to more people so we can get even more people chatting. Jason, I appreciate you showing up. I know you're a busy guy. It's Australian morning on a Sunday, and you're here talking in the Church of Cameras. That's terrible. I don't know if that's sacrilegious. I don't really care. That's sorry. Anyways, not stepping on anybody else's ideas. Anyways, camera news, not any other kind of stuff. Would be nice Sony to come out with a competitive APS-C camera where it has 4K 60 and it's not a pricey as over 2K, but it's good enough as a secondary or even third-party backup camera. I agree that it would be nice, but considering that the A7 IV has cropped 4K 60, which I was baffled by. I thought they would for sure do full frame 4K 60, but the fact that they didn't, I don't see them bringing out any camera anytime soon that's under 2,000 to give you 4K 60. Definitely not full frame, or at least oh, he said APS-C. Okay, maybe an APS-C camera. Sorry, I misread that. That's possible. Something to go with. I'm with Doan here. TV here. Or Don, or is it Doan? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Would love APS-C 4K 60 with 10-bit. Yeah, so that's interesting too. Good idea. Good thought. That would be an R whatever it is, a 7 competitor for sure. So that would be interesting. A lot of people would like that. TJ Bronx, what is going on, Matt? What is going on with you, TJ? I hope my dog's barking. I hope everything is good going on with you in the Bronx, I'm assuming. I'm just surprised that people are showing. I love it, but I'm surprised that people like the one. It's pronounced like the one. The one. Oh, like the one. Right? Am I saying that right now? The one. That's cool. I like it. The one TV. The one, but the one. I think it's still the one. Or okay, cool. I like that name. If I'm saying that right, either way, I like it. So yeah, an APS-C 4K 60 10-bit. I like it. What do you guys think as far as this time slot goes? I did a Thursday night live stream. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I'm pronouncing it right now, and it's good. I like it. So, as far as the live stream goes, funny enough, which I don't know, I've been having some. I had some pretty not higher end, but I had some videos that performed extra well for me over the last 2 times. So I don't know if it is just the I don't know if it is just the what is the right word, momentum that brings this live stream to having more people, or coming in and out, or if it is the time slot. So if you guys like a Thursday night time slot better, like around 8, or a Saturday night time slot, I'm kind of down for either. So just let me know. And usually my live streams are about every other week. Usually is what I try to aim for. But if camera news is extra slow and I just want to chat with people, I'll do I might not do 2 videos. I'll do one and a live stream. I just kind of to play it by ear at this point. Long Rider says night all. Night to you, Long Rider. I appreciate you showing up on Saturday night and sharing your time with me. Brian says Saturday night is great. Okay. Well, that is a vote for Saturday night. And I might, experiment around with it sometimes Thursday, sometimes Saturday, and just see who shows up when. We have been going for an hour and 5 minutes. I know that Long Rider is saying goodnight. Jason is saying good day. Sorry, I'm not sure if he's still in the chat, but he's Australian. Good day. Never mind. TJ Bronx says, I really enjoyed the earlier time slot on Saturday, but I understand this makes more for people in different locations. I did miss almost an hour though. Yeah, that's true. What about the Thursday night? Were you here Thursday night though? Is that better time slot? I was really surprised that Saturday that I didn't know if anybody was going to show up. I cared. I hoped that they would. I had a gig actually. I had for people who didn't hear that earlier, I had a video gig. I had to do a live event dance showcase. I was the videographer for that event, and so I had to be there all day today, and I had to get ready for it yesterday. So I just didn't see me making it for an extra video. Especially the news was kind of I don't know about kind of slow. I had that big news story with the R7 specs. Then we came out with about the RFS lenses, which is great, but I didn't see making a full video about it, so I'd just rather chat about it here. So that was the reason I didn't have 2 videos, and this is my second video. I could have done an earlier Saturday night or Saturday, but those were the reasons I did not. Okay, so we're still here for it. All right. I'm getting more and more people jumping in. So I don't want to just leave you guys hanging. I appreciate it if you're here, throw a like, jump in the comments. Let's continue to have these conversations. Mad Dog Adventure says tech talk isn't really my thing, but I thought I'd stop in and say hi. Well, I appreciate that you did, Tech or Mad Dog. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that you're here. And if you want to chat, we can. We're talking tech of cameras, if that makes it any better for you, more appealing. But if not, and you just said hi, then I appreciate the hi. So yeah. Jason, are you still here in the chat by chance? Or maybe you're busy just wanting to listen. Either way, Jason and I talked about doing a some kind of collaboration, but so far we hadn't been able to make it work out. Oh, he's here. Cool. But yeah, Jason has much bigger channel than me, so if we did do a collaboration, I would definitely be getting more out of it than he would. So he's gracious enough to even offer that, or I might have coerced him into doing it. Just editing and listening. Gotcha. If you ever think about something that you would be willing to, I know you said you were willing to do a collaboration. Not to put you on the spot, but if you ever come up with an idea that works, let me know. And I would definitely be willing to help out any way I can. And I'd obviously appreciate the exposure, and just being able to work with you would be great too. Okay. He says, we're classmates. I'm Paul, who always plugs your channel when people ask camera tech cues. So are you classmates from LCA, I'm assuming? Or is it from, there's also LCA, Lost Creator Academy, and then why am I blanking on the other? It's Sean Kennel's channel, where it's Think Media. So are you one of those classmates, or am I just forgetting a classmate back from college? Because I drink a lot. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, Mad Dog Adventures. If I'm not mistaken, you are from LCA. If I'm not mistaken, because we've talked before. I appreciate you being here, and I'm sorry if I'm not recalling some of the things that I've known in the past. So Jason's editing and listening. Yes, LCA. Cool, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I remember, I think in the past, people have asked about camera stuff, and you were there to plug my stuff. So I really appreciate it. So that's great. Um, yeah, man. Thank you so much. That's really great. And as far as LCA is Lost Creator Academy, it's Christian LeBlanc. He set that up. He's really good at the travel stuff. This channel, hence the name Moving Mat, was essentially or originally going to be planned on being a travel channel, but then obviously the Rona stuff hit, and I had some camera knowledge that I could share, and but originally it was going to be like 80% travel and maybe a 20% on the camera side. But circumstances changed, and I'm okay with that. I'm glad the community I have. We are though, and I'm not going to just cross promote right away, but hmm, yeah, I was thinking about that, Jay. I've went over that multiple times in my mind. Um, but I really quick, and then we can talk about that more. Um, I am going to be doing a travel channel as well. My wife and I are planning on we'll be in Vietnam for a while. Her family's from Vietnam. We hadn't seen them in 4 years. We are set to leave with one-way tickets in June, June 28th. So that being said, I'm going to obviously continue with what we got going on here, but I'm going to be creating content for a travel channel as well. So I'm excited about that. But it's not going to say anything to do with moving. Would I be considering changing my name? I have considered changing my name, Jason. I really don't know. I like Moving Matt. I think it's neat. It's unique, but it really maybe it doesn't speak to the audience or to the niche that I'm in right now. What would you change it to if it was your channel, or what would be your idea? Do you think I would just go with my name, Matt Rotoni? Do you think it should just be Matt Rotoni, and that be my channel name? I already have a different name set up for my travel channel that more vlog and travel with family stuff. Um, Mad Dog says, I'm lucky in Western Australia. In Western Australia, we had completely closed borders, but life inside has been pretty normal. We have been able to make travel content here. That's great. It's great that you were able to experience that. To be honest, where I'm at in the United States, to a degree, has been fairly normal too. For most people, I'll say. I think America, to a certain degree, United States, we gave up on trying to barrier these things. I mean, there was some mask mandates and things like that. And of course, vaccines. I was hoping that more and more people would adopt that. They maybe were slow to. But overall, there was a lot of uh, even though there was a lot of I think people just kind of gave up on trying to stop it, and so at this point in the pandemic, I don't know. Sometimes you get kicked off of YouTube for saying anything, but I think at this point in the pandemic, America's seemingly over it. We had Omicron just decimate the population. I had 3 vaccines, and I still got Omicron. And personally, I did have to change up the way I lived. My wife and I had to shut down, not just because of here though. I mean, I think my state didn't really shut down as much as what my family did. But I have a sister who has cerebral palsy. and she's fully disabled, and she's in her 40s. I have a mom with asthma, and I could not risk giving them anything, especially before the vaccine was available. Even with the vaccine, my sister, who has cerebral palsy, had 3 shots, the 2 and the booster or whatever, and she still wound up getting Omicron and ending up in the hospital. But luckily, she was able to make it through. But most people in her condition wouldn't. But I am a in-home care for her at this point in my life, and I had to go with the times, and not go with the times. I had to go with what was responsible for me and my my situation. TJ Bronx said, moving mat is dope. Even if it doesn't speak to your niche, it's unique and works, in my opinion. Well, I thank you, TJ. And so far, I haven't necessarily felt compelled to change it 100%. I've thought about it. I thought of moving just to kind of play maybe with the branding of the idea of moving, instead of the idea of saying moving like what it was supposed to be, like traveling and like moving. um, I think the original term for movies was moving pictures. So I was thinking that keeping moving, I could use that like, video. I could maybe use some kind of graphic that would have like pictures moving like a film or something. I don't know. Uh, Jason Morris said, I agree with TJ Bronx. Keep it. It works. Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to keep it. I have it staked. It's, if you just type in, you know, youtube.com/moving mat, or it's me. I got it. So I claimed it. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So do you think though that makes sense at all? Or should I just completely just avoid that idea of having, I don't really have intros as much anymore, because I feel like from the research that I've done, most people are saying just kind of ditch the intro, and the intro is the start of the video to a certain degree, what the topic's going to be about. Um, that being said, in some of my like channel art and even maybe just a small graphic, would it make sense to do like a, you know, idea that moving means like moving pictures for a video? I don't know. Maybe it's silly. I have okay, so Mad Dog asks, when will you be in Vietnam? I will be crossing over uh okay, when will you be in Vietnam? I will be crossing over from Laos around February 2023. We leave June 28th of this year. We have a one-way ticket. Initially, we were thinking somewhere around 3 months. It's possible that that will be post or delayed even further, and we might get some more time there. The more time that I'm able to get there, the better it will be for a travel channel for sure. So if I'm there February 2023, Mad Dog, let's make it happen. Let's do a collaboration or something. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. So yeah, if you're down for that. Jason said, I did intros way back because everyone else did them, so I thought it was the thing to do, but I dropped them. I don't like it. Haha. You don't like that you dropped it, or you don't like intros? Yeah, yeah, I had the moving mat graphic, and that was pretty much the extent of my intro. Uh, but I haven't even really been using that lately. I've just been trying to jump into whatever the hook of the channel or hook of the title is. Like if it's a Canon R7 thing, it was like, finally we get some Canon R7 specs. Is it hype or whatever? I don't know. I don't remember exactly how it started it, but the idea is to jump in, offer some form of a hook, and then start giving my opinion. And so far, I think that's the best thing to do. But maybe my graphics can can do something slightly different to point towards camera, or even have like a little graphic of like one of those cameras that you would turn. This makes sense. Like that would you would turn. The idea is you would have moving pictures. I don't know. Yeah, those intros are great. Yeah. Um, well, I appreciate it. I think you're talking about my intros. Okay, can't exactly get it. Lost in translation. I know you're editing too, man. I hope I'm not taking up too much of your time. So, Jason, we talked about a little bit of a collaboration in the past. Um, what do you think? I'm trying to find like the intersection between our channels. Um, so I'm trying to find like the intersection of our channels, kind of how they work, because you're more value based when it comes to like teaching, and I'm more camera news based. So I just want to make sure that if we do something, which I would love to, but if we do something, I want it to be able to add value to your channel as well as mine. Not that necessarily you have a way bigger audience, but just in general, I want it to make cohesive sense. So I guess that's been my thought process. I didn't know if we could do something along the lines of A7S3 versus A7 IV. Can you tell the difference in similar situations, or low light? I mean, we could do something similar to that. That would be possible because I know you have that camera and I have the A7S3. I don't know. That would be interesting, maybe. Or um, okay. Yeah. So Jason says I have done some collabs with other creators when it comes to cameras and their experience because everyone is different. That's true. Well, yeah, and maybe even if we did just like a little interview, that would be cool. Like if I could do a video, since my channel, I'm sure could very much learn. Uh, Jason said, I love watching smaller creators because a lot of their stuff is more real. I appreciate it. Not that I don't want to be a bigger creator, but hopefully I can continue to keep I hope I can keep my sensibilities of being more real as well. That's something that with my travel channel, I'm a little torn. Mad Dog would probably know a little bit more about this, but do I want it to all be like cinematic stuff more? Or do I want to kind of mix in more vlogs with my travel in the experience? Because I don't know, I go back and forth with that. Definitely, if I'm doing more vlogs, somewhat vlog, I'll be able to produce more. But there's also value in being more higher quality. So I go back and forth in my mind of wanting to be more raw versus wanting to be more professional when it comes to that channel, especially. Um, so yeah, it would be interesting. Maybe we could, even if we just did like a live stream, and we could record that together, and possibly I could maybe interview about that would be kind of cool and valuable for my audience. Maybe like talk about how you book gigs. What do you think's maybe necessary equipment for that type of stuff? How you get clients? Because I know a lot of the people who watch my channel are watching, and they're wanting, of course, to know the best of the best about cameras. But some of them want to learn how to make it a business and more of a career, and they want to know how to make money with their camera. So that could be very beneficial to my channel. I'm not as sure about yours. Hopefully, you would be willing to maybe allow me on your channel as well. Maybe we could just both post a similar video. Or if you want to interview me about certain stuff, if you wanted to pick my brain about cameras that are coming out, we could kind of like go along the lines of since I'm really up to date on, fairly up to date and speculate and keep up with the news, maybe you could interview me on that side of things where you can say, oh, what cameras do you suspect are coming out in this time? I don't know. I don't know. These are just ideas that I'm floating in my mind. If any of these seem cool to you, then yeah, let's try to make it happen. Mad Dog says my wife is Colombian. We will be in South America June and July visiting her family, but the 1st of August I fly one way into Bali and travel overland through Indo, Malaysia, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. Awesome, man. That's really really cool. So yeah, I'll be around there. Well, if it works out, it works out. I'd love to meet up and do more stuff, even just together. Uh, Jason says, definitely send me an email or DM on Instagram for sure. Okay, Jason. Yeah, I will absolutely do that. Instagram may be the avenue I go. I really need to have like moving mat, you know, moving mat email, just specific like moving mat. Uh, I don't know. I can't remember, but you can basically get um, like at moving mat or something like that, just like .com. Um, that would be great. I probably need to do that. Need to jump on that part of it as well. I have the rights to the site. I just had never made an email about it. But yeah, Instagram would be Matt Rotoni, and yeah, that could be fun. I would love to do something like that. Um, TJ Bronx said, your recent video about the top 5 cameras was vlog style, and I thought it was amazing. I could tell everything was off the cuff and honest, like Jason mentioned, feel real. Thank you. Thank you so much, TJ. That's one of the biggest compliments you can give me. Um, oh, sorry. Speaking of my wife, I'm taking her to Sunday lunch, so bye for now. Okay. Yeah, bye for now. Enjoy. Uh, okay, so TJ said your recent video about the top 5 cameras was vlog style. Thought it was amazing. Yeah, okay. I just read that, but yeah, that's one of the biggest compliments you can give me. To be real, even though it was real and somewhat off the cuff, because there was stuff like that. I felt like it was one of the more I don't know, one of the more somewhat creative that I've been with this channel recently. I did a lot of creative stuff. If you go back and watch some of the Asian Caucasian shows that I did, if y'all want to see like old vlogs of me, I'm probably about 30 pounds lighter. If you want to see some like old vlogs, there's some fun ones. I think the anniversary one was pretty good and stuff. So if y'all are into that stuff, if you ever just want to just see a vlog, not really about cameras, then go check those out. Um, but yeah, I really I liked that style, and that's something that I want to be able to do more of. It's a little difficult with a 1 year old. It's so much easier just to sit in the studio and come up with news. But I definitely hope that I can give more stuff like that, because those do actually take quite a bit more editing time, even though it's reeling off the cuff. If I'm going to put cinematics in it, I try to match it up to the music. I try to do some J and L cuts to kind of make things flow better, which I learned from the Casey Neistat. I knew of them, but I learned how to use them better with the Casey Neistat course, which was good. Mad Dog says, and I much prefer the vlog style. Those big cinematic videos with music and massive sound design don't hold my attention at all. Yeah. Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate the info on that. I think I will make it maybe a little bit of a mixture. If you ever get the chance, and I don't want any of you guys to do work for me necessarily, but if you like to do if you would just like to enjoy something, hopefully you will enjoy it. I did a video about Fort Myers, Florida. So if you go to like the travel stuff, there was a video with Fort Myers, Florida, that I feel like was a pretty good mix of the vlog and cinematic. And so maybe give it a watch if you get a chance, and let me know what you think of that, or something that you think I could change. I would definitely appreciate the feedback before I go to Vietnam and just start making content. Um, yeah. So TJ Bronx said, please don't get me wrong. I do enjoy your talking head vids as well. especially your new stuff. Hey, I wasn't taking it anything. I was very complimented by it, and I understand. Uh, Obviously, most people subscribed for my talking head videos for sure. So I don't think, as far as like, I guess, uh, I wish I could do more vlog stuff, but I'm glad people enjoy my talking head stuff because it is easier for me to do. Not that I don't try to put effort into it. I definitely do with graphics and stuff. But with the 1-year-old and everything else going on in life, um, it is slightly easier to do. But I wanted to be able to do both, and I didn't take that as a slight at all. I'm glad you enjoy both. I really do. I think people, yeah, if like I was saying, if you ever just have extra time on your hands and if you're into travel stuff, maybe go check out some of my travel videos and comment. Let me know. Ooh, got a downvote. I'm sorry. Did I upset somebody promoting something that I wasn't supposed to promote? Um, it is so funny how human nature is though. Like I have like 10 people who've liked the video and then I get one downvote and like instantly I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. But yeah. It's just funny how human nature works. So, anyways, the guy who downvoted, I'm sorry. I hope, I hate that it wasn't for you, but thank you for letting me know that you didn't like it. I guess. Okay. We've been going for an hour and 31 minutes. If anybody still wants to keep talking, we can. Otherwise, let's just call it a night if y'all are good with that. It's about 10 here. Usually Saturday nights are my, I wouldn't say lazy nights, but are more my indulgent of, I don't know, partaking, like hanging out with friends, playing some video games and stuff. I usually get to about once a week, and Saturday nights are the nights. So, not that I haven't enjoyed this. I much appreciate anybody who showed up. I've definitely enjoyed talking to the community. Honestly, talking to the community and doing live streams are probably the most fun in my mind. I don't know if they grow the channel as much, but they're definitely fun. If you're here and you haven't, great talk, even though I was late. It's all good. We went a long time, so I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed the feedback. Um, Thanks for showing up. What is the time for next week? So TJ, I will try to get it out there. I go between the Thursdays and the Saturday nights. More than likely, if news prohibit or allows, I might just be doing 2 videos next week, and the next live will be the week after. That is what I'm thinking. Because I try to do. It seems like the videos promote the channel a little bit more, get more traction than the lives. I feel like I do the lives because I enjoy them, and also I hope you guys enjoy. And I like being able to talk to the community. But to actually grow the channel, which obviously is a goal of mine as well, videos usually do better. That being said, if anything changes, I'll try to get out the word a little earlier. I'm thinking though, lives will from now on be in the 8 to 8:30 mark at night, whether on a Thursday or Saturday night, will be the thing. So that's probably what I'm looking at now, at this point. So probably not a live next week. More than likely 2 videos. The week after that, it'll either be on a Thursday or Saturday night. So hopefully that's good information for you. I appreciated everybody who showed up, everybody who participated in the comments. I appreciate you as well. Just thank you for everything, for supporting the channel. If you happen to be somebody who is watching this that hasn't subscribed yet, I always appreciate that. It's definitely motivating when I see people subscribe, or just don't unsubscribe. That's great too. But until next time, peace. I always mess it up, man. I want to hit it at the same exact time. You have a good night as well. You have a good night as well, Jason. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. I'll be in touch with you this week for sure to maybe figure out something in the future. All right, until next time. Peace.